Hello everyone! For today's video, I've got something special. I'm putting together a list of the best modern Metroidvania games that truly deserve S-tier status. These are the absolute must-play titles you don't want to miss. Well, let's get into the list. If you like games like Ori, Mio Memories in Orbit will feel familiar. This is a beautiful and artistic Metroidvania with a dark, emotional atmosphere. The visuals look like watercolor paintings, and the music is quiet, haunting, and peaceful at the same time. Instead of focusing on non-stop combat, Mio focuses on smooth exploration. As you explore, the ship begins to feel alive. It can see, it can breathe, and every path leads back to the spine. Each time you unlock a new route, it feels like healing a wound, like stitching the body back together. Mio isn't the first game to do this, but it does it beautifully. It proves that exploration isn't just about finding enemies to fight, it's about understanding a living world. Constance is a beautiful and challenging Metroidvania with a story about mental and emotional burnout. In this game, you play as Constance, a girl exploring her own mind. Her world is called a mind palace, and it looks like a colorful 2D fantasy land. Armed with only a paintbrush, Constance fights monsters that represent her inner fears and struggles. One of the coolest mechanics is Constance's paint meter. Her abilities use paint and it refills when she stands still. If the meter runs out, she can still use abilities, but they will drain her health instead. This teaches an important lesson. Pushing yourself too hard can hurt you. It also forces you to think carefully instead of rushing through the game. What happens when you mix Bloodborne's dark horror with Metroidvania exploration? You get The Last Faith. This game feels like a gothic fusion of Souls-like and Metroidvania set in a ruined Victorian-like city. The real star of the game is the gameplay. Combat offers many different playstyles. You can choose from 4 starting classes: Brawler, Rogue, Stargazer, and Marksman. Each class leans towards strength, speed, magic, or guns. You mostly fight with melee weapons, but you can also use magic spells and firearms to support your attacks. There's no normal block button. Instead, you use special items called Stigma that let you parry, heal, or boost your speed and damage. With that in mind, executing enemies also restores your energy, making fights feel brutal and satisfying. Worldless is a quiet and mysterious Metroidvania with almost no dialogue. It throws you into a cosmic world with stunning visuals and haunting music. The true heart of Worldless is its combat. It kind of feels like turn-based, where everything depends on timing. You must block and counter at the exact right moment. Some attacks can end the fight instantly if you are even a second too slow. Certain battles can take a long time to master. One enemy alone can test your patience and skill again and again, but when the combat finally clicks, it feels incredible. Blocking at the perfect moment, breaking enemy shields, and absorbing them in one smooth motion creates a thrilling rhythm. Some movies from the 80s and 90s are fun because they don't try to be deep. They're loud, chaotic, and packed with action. That's exactly how Blade Chimera feels. The story is simple and familiar, but it never gets in the way of the fun. I'm not here to study demon politics or deep lore. I'm here to beat up yokai with style, and Blade Chimera lets me do that in the best way possible. You can fight with guns or swords, and both feel great. Some weapons work better in certain situations, like guns being dangerous underwater or swords being useless against certain enemies, and when you combine the fast, exciting combat with its gorgeous pixel art, the game really shines. The visuals are beautiful and full of detail, and the animations are smooth and expressive. Afterimage is a Metroidvania with beautiful, massive open world. The world is one large connected map with many different paths. After the early game, you're free to go almost anywhere in any order. Hidden areas reward you with new gear, points, and upgrades. If a boss feels too hard, you can simply explore somewhere else, get stronger, and come back later. That freedom makes the game feel very welcoming, though some players may find it a little confusing at first. At the start, the combat feels simple, but as you explore, you unlock new weapons and abilities that make fighting much faster and more exciting. There are 6 weapon types, and you can equip 2 at once. Each weapon has its own button, so you can mix attacks and create cool combos. Metroid Dread is a return to classic Metroid gameplay, but now it comes after the rise of modern Metroidvania games like Hollow Knight and Ori. First, it's important to know this. Metroid Dread is a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion. The game assumes you already know the story. It barely explains what Metroids are or what the X-Parasite is. This game is clearly made for longtime fans. Gameplay-wise, the game improves greatly. The combat is fast and smooth, and the melee counter returns. The level design is also excellent. Classic upgrades like the Morph Ball, Grapple Beam, Space Jump, and Screw Attack return, along with new abilities like Invisibility and Ice Missiles. These upgrades make exploration fun and rewarding. Animal Well is a puzzle Metroidvania where you play as a tiny blob born from a pink flower dropped into a dark underground world. There is no dialogue, no instructions, and no story text. You explore because you are curious, and that curiosity pulls you deeper and deeper into the well. In this game, you don't fight enemies, you outsmart them. The boss fights are not about action, but about solving puzzles. The game creates tension and fear without needing combat, and in every corner of the world, the game hides clever puzzles that force you to think creatively. To solve them, you collect strange items like a yo-yo, firecrackers, and a bubble wand. Each item has special uses, and the game encourages you to experiment with it. Laika Age Through Blood is one of the darkest and emotional Metroidvania. In the opening moments, you find your friend brutally killed. The game doesn't hide its violence. Enemies explode into blood and feathers, and even Laika makes a painful sound when she dies. The gameplay is just as intense as its story. It's built around riding a motorcycle while shooting enemies. You use your bike to jump ramps, dodge bullets, and even block attacks by drifting at the right time. You can also slow down time to aim your shots while flying through the air. It feels like a hardcore speedrun game, fast, challenging, and thrilling. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is one of those rare games that feels magical from start to finish. Ori belongs to the Metroidvania genre, but it has a special identity of its own. Beautiful visuals, smooth movement, and an emotional story. After the success of Ori and the Blind Forest, this sequel manages to match it and even add exciting new ideas. The gameplay feels familiar but improved. You will unlock new abilities and weapons as you explore. This time, you can choose how you fight using different skills and spirit shards that change how Ori plays. You can customize your style, making combat more fun and flexible than before. Blasphemous 2 is a game full of disturbing beauty. The developers, the Game Kitchen, are masters of surreal pixel art. You'll see strange and haunting images everywhere, giant figures, bleeding golden honey, living statues, and twisted religious symbols. The world is inspired by Spanish and Andalusian culture mixed with Gothic Catholic imagery. It's gruesome, but also fascinating to look at. The combat is much better than the first game. Instead of using just one weapon, you can now choose between 3 different weapons. Each weapon has its own skill tree and special movement ability. This means your choice affects how you fight and how you explore the world. As you progress, you unlock combos and techniques that make combat deeper and more exciting. Nine Sols is a 2D action game that surprised me in the best way possible. It takes inspiration from Sekiro's parry-based combat and mixes it with Metroidvania exploration. The result is a game that is hard, stylish, and full of personality. Our character, Yi, can slash, dodge, jump, and most importantly, parry. If you parry at the right moment, you take no damage and gain energy called Chi. You can use this energy to place magical talismans on enemies and explode them for massive damage. When everything clicks, battles feel like a rhythm game. Slash, parry, explode, repeat. Ender Magnolia is the sequel to Ender Lilies, and it takes place in the same world years later. Once again, you play as a small child in a dark and broken fantasy land. This time, the hero is named Lilac. Lilac is not a fighter. Instead of fighting herself, she frees trapped souls called homunculi, and they fight for her. The first one you meet is Nola, a powerful swordswoman who becomes your main attacker. Soon after, more allies join you. Some use heavy attacks, some shoot from far away, and some help you move through the world with new abilities like double jumps and air dashes. And just like the first game, Ender Magnolia builds atmosphere through visuals, sound, and quiet storytelling. The game is truly beautiful to experience. Prince of Persia. The Lost Crown is one of the best modern Metroidvania games to play right now. Usually this genre is ruled by indie games, but this time Ubisoft jumped in and showed everyone how it's done. The game's world is huge. You can choose where to go first, which bosses to fight, and which powers to unlock. It feels open, exciting, and full of secrets. And of course, the movement is one of the best parts of the game. Our character, Sargon, feels fast, smooth, and powerful. Jumping, climbing, and fighting all flow together perfectly. The combat is quick and stylish, using swords, bows, and special time attacks. You can also equip magical amulets to change how your abilities work, giving you many ways to play. Silksong continues that Hollow Knight experience, but with a new hero, Hornet. If you played the first game, Silksong will feel familiar, but Silksong also changes many things for the better. Hornet is faster and more agile than the first hero. She can grab ledges, heal in midair, sprint, glide, and use a grappling hook. Platforming becomes more fun and less frustrating. If you miss a jump, you often have a chance to recover instead of falling to your death. The combat is also quicker and more exciting. Hornet feels like a deadly hunter. Enemies are stronger, but you have more tools to fight back. Battles feel like fast dances, especially during boss fights, with music guiding your movement and timing. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more new exciting Metroidvania games. That's it, and see you next time.